Holy Cronenberg body horror, Batman! Tiki here, and I am just getting to Batman Beyond Season 2 for the first time. Dragon, tell him why we're here.
Well, you see, folks, long ago I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way, but that was the past, and we must now enter the Batman's future.
Tonight we are talking Splicers. Oh, yeah. Get that splice, baby.
Get a slice of splice.
Do you remember the movie Splice with Adrian Brody?
No.
Okay, I'll take that as a no. All right.
No.
All right, Dragon. This was definitely a good season premiere for sure. What I really like about this episode actually is I really like how we kind of get to check in with everyone. We get a decent amount of Barbara Gordon stuff. We get another check in with her husband. So I feel like even though Dana wasn't really in the episode a lot, she definitely got some, like Dana and Matt both got pretty memorable bits. We got a really memorable, this is probably Ace the Bat-hound's biggest episode. So, yeah, overall, I'm liking that. And, of course, the body horror is, it is what it is. It's pretty damn shocking, Dragon. I'm not going to lie. So, overall, I liked it. I'm not gonna say it's like my favorite episode. I don't honestly know where I'd rank it, but I definitely liked it. Just to shout out the comments, this one came in at 2:32 a.m. because we had to change the schedule around a little bit. Jim says season 2 already, a great episode with lots of body horror. Indeed, and yeah, we are on season 2, Jim. So thanks for joining us. And also Lucas Green, he says, not ice, baby. It's splice, baby. Indeed. All right, Dragon. Give us the context. How the hell did this get past the censors, man?
Oh, it's so funny you ask. Okay, so this was directed by, again, pretty much the mainstay director. Did almost, like, not every episode, but pretty much all the big ones, at the very least, was most recurring. Kurt Gaeta. Kurt Gaeta is a journeyman. He's been there since the beginning on kind of like, on storyboarding sequences, and he's kind of worked his way up till, full on. Basically, I believe he was directing Superman the Animated Series. He then directed New Adventures episodes, and then that's the thing. They're doing 3 shows at the same time, so they're using the directors on a little bit of everything, but he went full tilt with Batman Beyond. It's probably the most he directed of all the stuff. Did Rebirth, did Shriek, did Disappearing Ink. Again, they give Kurt the good stuff. Let's see, the writer on this. So the writer on this, they worked on some of the Superman the Animated Series episodes. I forget if they're a married couple or not, but they're a writing duo. Evan Dorr and Sarah Dyer. They did some really out there episodes from Superman the Animated Series. Well, at least one out there episode. They did Monkey Fun.
Oh, God.
They did Monkey Fun, which features Titano. It's a very memorable Superman villain.
Uh-huh.
And Livewire.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Studio worked on this. Tiki, you'll never guess.
I'm going to guess Don Yang with a little splash of cocoa.
No, Tiki, other way around.
Oh, you're right. It's Coco with a little splash of Don Yang. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I don't know how we got that
little
wrong.
tang we like to call Don Yang. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, so here's how we get this episode. So we don't have all the details on how sick and wrong they got here, but I blame Paul.
This is like 2 steps away from the Rugrats storyboard jam, man.
No, it's one of those things where I wasn't in the room. I smell some Dini on this. I can't. I'm not saying Dini actually had hands in this episode. It's probably more so the writers, but Dini being a producer on the show and he's there, even though he's not. Dini really did not write a lot of Batman Beyond, but he was there conceptually for a lot of stuff, especially Rebirth. So because of that, he de facto was there a lot. And again, at this point, they're working on 3 shows in which Dini's involved in all the shows as well. So Dini loves kind of the sick and wrong stuff, especially if it has any relation to animals and splicing, especially. So my headcanon is that Dini had some involvement here. Anyway, because Bruce, there's this running gag in the writers' room where Bruce will like turn to "You're a sick man, Dini." Anyway, so let's see. So this was kind of a refresh. Since we are on season 2, this is kind of a refresh going into season 2. I can't tell you how much the network had hands in this happening. Some of this might have been natural progression, but essentially the idea was like, okay, cool. Let's distance ourselves from the corporate stuff because we did a whole first season based on that in our first example of kind of a serialized story in the DCAU.
Uh-huh.
We did a lot of corporate stuff, which made a lot of sense. That's kind of like it's integral to Terry McGinnis's Batman origin, and Derek Powers is a force to be reckoned with. He's going to hire a lot of people, and then the Blight stuff. So all that made sense, and it wasn't all of that stuff, but the majority of that season, at least half the season, was corporate stuff. So the idea here was, okay, season 2, either from the network or just natural progressions, like, okay, we want to move away from the corporate stuff, which is a little bit more in Bruce Wayne's world.
Okay.
We want to go more into the Terry McGinnis high school stuff. Because, again, the modus operandi after the first season was, okay, we got to make sure at the end of the day it's more Terry McGinnis's show than it is Bruce Wayne's show. Because otherwise it's another full-on Batman show, which obviously a lot of coding of the Batman, but still it's a new Batman. It's not just the same Batman.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
So that's why you'll notice, like this episode, and I'll tease this out the second episode. I'm interested to see. I remember a lot of season 2 episodes do have high school setting stuff. I can't remember if it's all.
Dragon, so far I have been getting a disturbing lack of raves. I think we've only had one so far, if I'm remembering right.
We had more than one.
Really?
We had more than one, but then you also had like the dance and stuff. So
I don't count the dance, Dragon. That's not a full rave.
It was the proto rave, though. Trust me, we're gonna get raves. All right, there's gonna be
all right.
Anyway, point being,
I will gladly trade boardrooms for raves.
But we're definitely doing high school stuff a lot. They're opening with some high school stuff, so there you go. And speaking of which, one of the mandates with this whole high school thing is like, hey, since we're going to be at the high school so often, they create a character who we are introduced to in this episode who's going to be a major player as we go forward in season 2 and onward, Maxine Gibson. So we're going to get there.
Okay.
Let's see.
Is that Cree Summers?
That is Cree Summers, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
good to hear she's going to be a regular.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. We introduce her here. Let me put it this way to you. We kind of soft pedal her at the front of season 2, and then she becomes all over season 2.
Cool. That's good. I'm looking forward to that.
Like, plus, I mean, she's an add into the comics and stuff. Like, she's they like her. So anyway, okay, let's see. So again, it's a cross of so it's a cross of high school along with kind of the new and improved version of kind of like the classic hybrid stuff they had teased up in Batman the Animated Series. Because remember, Batman the Animated Series, we did stuff like Man-Bat, and we did more so the technically one of the worst episodes of Batman the Animated Series with Tiger.
Oh God, yeah, that's got to be up there. Yeah,
so that's the thing. The point being, in Batman the Animated Series, when we did those kind of animal mutation stories, those were kind of a precursor to splicing. So that was when the idea was kind of introduced in the DCAU, when we kind of had the idea of crossing, human DNA with animal DNA. And Tiger was the episode that went full tilt into that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this is kind of it's kind of the new high school futuristic setting mixed with kind of the old idea. So it's kind of them doing a show without a Bible. Mind you, season 2, they have a good grip on like, okay, well, we lucked out on season 1 and went well. We're still going with it. So let's just keep this track going, and we're gonna look back. Let's take some ideas, but not just like do the Penguin as a robot, and we're just gonna keep going. So let's see. Okay, one last thing. So this is the only, from what I understand, this is like the only episode that they, for reasons that are still unknown to the actor, because it doesn't really affect the performance at all. It was just kind of cool. It was just kind of fun. They showed Will Friedle, of course, Terry McGinnis. They showed Will Friedle on leather wings because of the man.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Episode, for reference, you never give an actor a line reading, but okay, listen, Will, we want to show you on leather wings. It's like, cool, Batman the Answers. This is the best day of work ever. Let's watch it. Yeah. So he watched that. And And again, didn't really affect his performance that much, but it does have a lot to do with the episode. There's a lot of on leather wings in this episode, so a little bit of it here and there, but very effectively a little bit of it here and there. Okay.
All right, we got Lucas Green saying this is always a standout episode as it's unique and allows certain villain foundations to use the gimmick as a weapon. Like the Titan formula, Joker creates Wolf the Hyena Goon in the Return of the Joker.
Yes, the Titan formula being from the Arkham games, and Wolf, yes, you will see Wolf introduced when we get to Return of the Joker.
Cool. All right, well, let us just dive into Dragon. I'm watching this on not HBO Max, just Max, buddy. Drop the HBO, keep the Max.
Wait, they really do that so far?
No, it's not like official yet, but they announced it, and I think it's so dumb.
I still don't know. Like, does that really change anything, or is it literally just the title thing?
It doesn't. I think it's literally just the title. Dragon, it broke Campia. It broke Campia. Campia is broken.
Someone needs to clip ready if you are sad, strange little man. You have my pity.
All right.
They drop 3 letters. The man crumbles like tissue paper.
Oh, God.
So, Splicers. Oh, I should mention this, too, before I forget about it. This is kind of a fan favorite episode. People love the Splicers episode.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I had a little bit of a stronger reaction to it. I like it a lot. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, like thinking about the season 1 stuff. Like, it's up there for sure. I don't think it's like... there's definitely a couple that stood out to me more than this one. But I mean, I guess Dragon, basically, I'm kind of like, this one's really good for sure, but I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe I need a rewatch. I'm kind of wondering how much of it just hangs on, like the shocking finale.
Well, honestly, I should say I think it's kind of a fan favorite mainly for the Cronenberg horror stuff. So
Sure.
See, Batman Beyond is infamous for being the darkest they ever got in the DCAU. So this is episode's like kind of the beginning, and honestly, I forget how much we keep the momentum going in season 2. But let's just say our first 2 episodes of season 2 very dark. So look forward to that. All right. So, Chelsea, the popular girl, Tiki. You remember Chelsea?
Yes, I remember Chelsea.
Chelsea. Thank goodness she doesn't have a hairbrush this time, but Chelsea does have, she does have something to show the high school kids. She removes her sunglasses and a little flourish, and she got...
Once again, I love the wah-wah you can go around. Like, oh, wow, she's always so hip.
Well, no, wah-wah, Tiki.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said wah-wah.
Yeah.
No, wah-la with an L.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I always get that. One day that will retain itself in my little brain.
Well, regardless. Point being, yes, you have the ambient dialogue. It's like, oh, man, Chelsea, what's going on? Yeah. By the way,
she's always hip to the latest trends, yo.
By the way, for the most part, that's usually always like Bruce Timm and company doing those back.
Oh, really? That's fun.
It's really fun. Like Andrea, usually every female voice. Usually you'll be hard, but Bruce Timm's not always a guarantee. But Andrea Romano's always going to be one of those background ladies. So Chelsea got spliced with, I believe, feline DNA, so she's got cat eyes, man. So yes, So as with our high schoolers, this is where we introduce Maxine Gibson, who's played by Cree Summers. Got a little memorable look, a little purple hair and everything. So just a little bit part here, but it's going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Terry's questioning, messing with...
I mean, just right off the bat, I'm just like, ooh, Cree Summers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, just wait until... Oh, I can't tell you, Tiggy, but...
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm excited, though. I'm excited she's got a big role.
She gets one of my underrated favorite episodes of Batman Beyond. We'll get there. Cool. Okay. So, Terry's, questioning this practice of messing with your DNA.
Dragon, let me bring this up. I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me bring this up because I'm curious to get your take on it. Is it fair to say this is kind of like a masked anti-drug episode?
Well, it's a little difficult to say because as Lucas Green's kind of saying here, he's bringing up Slappers. Slappers was the very anti-drug.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously. And this is more. I mean, this is more about fads, but it does borrow a lot from the ending of Slappers, obviously, with how we dispatch with our bad guy.
You know what's crazy is I feel like in today's culture, of like the Instagram filters and everything, I feel like this episode has like aged like fine wine.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely. I think it's just something about trends and fads and stuff, but also the
Uh-huh.
dangerous, like kind of overwhelming nature of that, like taken to the nth degree of like, what if we literalize change? And also,
For sure.
basically, I think it's more almost. It feels almost like a plastic surgery sort of PSA to a degree. It feels
I
almost
could see that. That checks out for
like
sure.
body modification and plastic, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's see. Anyway, so as Terry's bringing this up, and this episode also has a lot of the kind of comedy and a little. I call it RoboCop humor because it has kind of that. It's so funny because RoboCop's humor is kind of in some parts derived from Dark Knight Returns, so it's kind of relative. The whole like. We have the RoboCop news commentators and all the satire on the media, and we kind of have jokes like that here, which we'll get into later. But we have he's mentioning this. We see students with spliced zebra DNA and snake DNA just kind of walking around. And,
does this stick at all, or is it just kind of like a weird thing for just this episode?
Well, I mean, as you just heard, Tiki, it's going to come back with Return of the Joker. I mean, like this way, splicing, I believe, is around, but it definitely declined in popularity since we defeated the bad guy here.
So okay, that makes sense.
It's a practice. It's around. I forget if we bring it back regularly, aside from that one example, but it's don't expect to see a lot of it, but it might. If anyone's looking kind of funny or mutated, splicing is the cause.
Lucas Green, honestly, I would be to answer your question, I would be very much in Terry and Dana's position. I would be like, none for me, thanks. Nope. I'm not about that Cronenberg body horror shit. I don't want any part of my body being changed.
You did get the tattoo
though. Yes, but Dragon, insert the line that she has because I don't remember it word for word.
Oh, Terry, that's not the same thing at all. Okay, and anyway.
To be fair, my tattoo's a lot more artistic than hers.
Well, you can't underwrite the simplicity. I mean, it was a different time, Tiki. Anyway, so okay, we do have some heavy. We do have a little on the nose exposition, but it's not the end of the world. It's with the whole exposition. Well, don't you? The city's trying to shut this thing down. Yeah, I gotta admit, we write Dana very inconsistent this episode, though. You gotta admit, we kind of go back and forth on Dana here, where she's.
I didn't really mind her, honestly. I didn't really notice that. Because for me, I kind of the way I read her whole, what little she does have to do in this episode was she kind of was tempted by the peer pressure of the splicing, but then ultimately makes the wise call. I don't know. I don't really think we needed much more than that.
We're going to have an ethical discussion later, but we'll get there.
Okay.
Regardless. So inconsistent or not, I mean, Dana's saying oh, come on, Terry, the law's against everything we like. So there's kind of a pro-teen message kind of going on there.
Right. I just think I don't know. I kind of got the idea that once she actually, was in the process of okay, these are your options, I think she kind of wisened up and she was like, yeah, this isn't for me.
All right, that's okay, that's fair. But when we get to the ethical thing, we'll see how you feel about it.
All right.
There's a thought that occurred to me that kind of caused some ethical quandaries, but we'll get there.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we learned about the Chimera Institute, which, by the way, I'm convinced the fan theory that this was a mistake. They just didn't correct anyone. So it's supposed to be Chimera, but it's kind of pronounced Chimera all over the place. So I just think no one corrected, no one did the due diligence on that one. They said, okay, well, we got to pick which way to say it. It's not exactly a big Raz Al Ghul debacle, but Okay. Chimera Institute, reborn to be wild.
Oh, God.
Right, so then we have kind of the RoboCop humor here. We have the ad, which plays. We have parents protesting it. We have the vampire kid who says, I'm establishing myself the splicing helps me establish myself as an individual. Just like all my friends. We cut to all of his other vampire friends, so not quite individuals.
Yeah, we're individuals. That's the whole South Park cliche, South Park making fun of goth kids, yeah, man, we're so nonconformist. All we do is just dress and talk exactly alike. We're so nonconformist.
And then we cut to the perfect smash cut to the. I love when we go from the fake vampire bat people to the Bat Cave, and just watching in disgust as we see Doctor Abel Cuvier, played by Ian Buchanan. By the way, Ian Buchanan was the Ultra Humanite from Justice League. He's great. This is where they introduced to him, and they liked him so much they brought him back for that.
Nice.
Okay, so Cuvier here, he's basically, it's safe, it's reversible. He's got a great voice, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Very Kelsey Grammer-esque, I dig it. The Kells, so very safe, reversible, and utterly beautiful. I was the first test subject. And they gave him like a Conrad Veidt design too, with the look for him here. Let's see. So Bruce Wayne, he gives a very stern warning, and here we go. Greg Conroy, right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
He says, "This is no simple fad. Something bad will come from this splicing. Something we'll most likely have to clean up." Oh god, he's so dire. He's so grave about it. Like, look, Bruce Wayne's not batting an eye at this. He knows.
Yep.
This is gonna end terribly. I've seen splicing before, kid. It never ends well. This is not gonna go well. Oh, seriously. Oh, man. He gave me chills. I forgot how abrupt it was when he started. He's like, "This is no simple fad." Like,
it's great. It's great. Yeah.
That's how you turn away people from all these trends and stuff. Just like put that on a poster.
It's like Bruce Wayne's ultimate, like, these goddamn kids these days.
Exactly. See, Kevin Conroy with the old manisms with old Bruce Wayne, Batman Beyond the whole "get off my property." And
Dragon, that is the vibe I really want from Indiana Jones in this new movie.
Yeah, great. I'm with you. So we have Terry sleeping, and then he is awoken by American.
Oh my God! It's Shaggy from The Reluctant Werewolf.
No. It's.
I just say that because of the green shirt, but it's funny because in The Reluctant Werewolf,
he's wearing the red shirt, right?
Yeah,
it drove me crazy as a kid. Why is he every time Shaggy wore that red shirt and blue pants, it drove me crazy. That's not how he's supposed to look. He's off model.
Yep.
All right, so the werewolf. We have Matt is wearing a little werewolf mask to freak out his brother. And I love how Terry's going to go into action mode here. He's like hitting his brother with the pillow.
Yeah.
He's lucky he didn't punch him.
And I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think Matt is a really good kind of like prototypical, late 90s kid brother character who's really entertaining in small doses.
Okay, I'm gonna drop a quick deep cut here.
Okay.
If Maddie had a babysitter, it'd be Electra, and she said, "Hello,
Maddie." Oh my God.
Every time she came over. Okay, we're gonna get back on point now.
Right.
All right, so basically the kid's like, "I want to be a real Wolfman for Halloween thing. You can splice his DNA, werewolf DNA." It's like, no, kid, that's gonna give us Moon of the Wolf again. We don't want that episode. No.
Right.
So Mary McGinnis, voiced by the wonderful Terry Garr, she denounces splicing, and then Terry, with a smile, points out, like, "What about that relic from your wild teen years? A little heart on the ankle." Yep. Terry, that was like, it's ancient history, and it's not the same as altering your DNA and everything. So let's see. So Matty calls his brother a donkey. He says, "You don't have to be spliced. You're already a donkey. Hee haw, hee haw." And then he says, "You're looking late for school, twip."
And that's why I say he's good in small doses, because I feel like much more of that, I'd be like, "All right, shut up, kid."
Yeah, we don't overstay the welcome with the kid. Mainly because we have a lot of episode to get through. That's the main reason. Okay, so then he's asking for like a Wolfman tattoo, and the mother just like shoves like the mask in his face, which is a good gag. Okay, so then we're on one of my recurring favorite kind of set pieces in Batman Beyond, because I love the whole class system thing. We have the vertical subway.
Yeah, it's cool.
So here we have some nice exposition here where Sam Young, Barbara Gordon's husband, he's working outlaw splicing because there's a proven rise in aggressive behavior. Basically, teens either getting cockier and actual hormonal imbalance from the splicing. And to prove this, we have Ramrod.
How's that for breaking news?
Voiced by Ice-T from Law and Order, SVU.
Oh, for real? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, voiced by Ice-T. So yeah, and he breaks the screen. Basically, this guy's kind of like a bull mixed with like a ram. He's more ram than bull. But he has like a nose ring, so he's kind of a bull.
Mm.
And King Cobra, who's like more like Snake Boy, because this guy, there's no King Cobra. This kid's, he's not much.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's see. Then basically he says like, we're the future, you norms, like talking to the scared masses.
Oh my god!
Never take the subway in Gotham, T. Because you have clowns that are terrorizing people. You got spliced teenagers. It's never gonna end well.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's a little. There's obviously some with the Marvel influence on Batman Beyond. There's some X-Men influence here. Only what if mutation was a voluntary choice, being the idea.
Sure.
All right, let's see. So then Terry's. How great is Terry in this scene, man?
He's good for sure.
Yeah, it's just like how about not Snake Boy? And he's got great quips. You got Will Friedle working with the quips, and he's also kicking these like go chew a can. He's like flipping around the car, and he's like letting them run in the stuff. And
it's cool because I feel like at this point he's very much more refined and more comfortable in his skin as Batman, like going into season 2. So it's good to see that kind of status quo.
For sure. And he has this great line. I love the animation on the Terry looks so cocky. It's so funny. He says, will you petting zoo rejects need a doctor or a vet? So they flee and they terrorize people. Just like punk kids, like they're scared, like hissing at like a lady and like scaring the guards and everything because he's a snake and everything. Yeah. All right, so let's see. So Terry. Now here's where we get into the ethical conundrum.
Okay, let's do it.
So Terry, after this little run, and he uses like one of the cards that Chelsea gave him. He goes to the Shamira Institute, and his little his kind of Trojan horse plan here to get in there to go undercover. It's using Dana as.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
Now here's the question.
You're going with this.
Now here's the trolley. Here's the trolley problem, my friend. So not really the trolley problem, but does Dana. Is this Terry using Dana purely to get in here? Because he is like when she's there and she's showing like I don't know, Terry. I'm having second thoughts about this. Well, Dana, you said you wanted this. Like, is that him like just throwing her own words in her face, or is that Terry just like no, we need to stay?
It's a really good question. I didn't think that through, but honestly, Dragon, the only defense I can have for him is that he just knows that Dana has a good enough sense to not go through with any actual splicing, and so he's like, but I don't know, you're right, it is like
I take it. I like to think the way you just put it right now. I like to think that Terry knows she has enough sense not to do it, but also it's a little bit of a come up.
But he doesn't know that for sure, though.
He doesn't. But by the same, even if he doesn't, Tiki, here's the question though: is he basically saying like, "Hey, you said this earlier, so face the music, lady. If you want to go forward with this, you should." It's a question, though. If she said yes, would he have tried talking her out? But he disappears on her, though.
It's like when the father catches a kid smoking cigarettes, and so he forces the kid to smoke the whole pack.
So that's the question. The real question is, Terry stopped. But by the same token, Terry did ditch her in the middle, though.
Oh, he ghosted her hard, man. So, honestly, this is probably the most brutal, like, Terry abandoning Dana moment in the whole series.
Especially since he left her to potentially alter her DNA.
Right.
However, it is a reversible process, though, and it apparently rather easily reversed when you have like the antigen thing. So it's not it's not like it would have done lasting damage unless she took like a bazillion of them, which we see later.
And just to answer Lucas Green's question, would you take the splicing if you were given an antidote like a trial run? No, I would not. I do not. First of all, I don't trust antidotes, and I wouldn't trust the antidote to work fully. Second of all, man, I like my body. I don't want no body horror shit. Even if you can change it back, that's still gonna mentally stick with you. I don't want to know what it feels like.
You really not trust antidotes?
No, Dragon, I'm saying if it's for something like this, I would be a little sketched out about it. Generally speaking, yes, I trust antidotes.
Yeah, you don't want to be Rob Schneider from The Animal?
Well, yeah, oh my God.
To be fair, Rob Schneider wants to be Rob Schneider from The Animal, so.
Dude, did you know that the woman who played his girlfriend in that movie was from Survivor?
No, I didn't, but I do know
Yep.
that Ed Asner is in that movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he does have a ridiculous line in that movie about, we all eat from the trash now and again, son.
Oh, my God.
God, it's a really, because he's like his boss. He's like the commissioner or something.
Okay, and I think that's the most that anyone's talked about Rob Schneider as the animal in about 15 years.
That sounds about right, actually. Okay, so Tigress is like walking her through, like doing like a little demonstration on like all the different splicing options you can do. Then the man shows up. Cuvier shows up, and again, Ian Buchanan with that Fraser-esque charm, with the ultra humanite charm. He's walking in there saying, "I'd suggest spots. I think you'd look lovely in spots." And he puts the little demonstration there. So Ramrod enters. I like this gag here. Terry's like, "Oh God, I beat that guy up out of costume. He's trying to hide his face." Yep, and then poor Dana gets ditched as you see. Okay, well these are the guys from earlier. I'm going to infiltrate here, and also something to note: Terry taking some initiative here. Again, ethically questionable initiative with Dana, but he's taking initiative. Like Bruce didn't send him here. He did this on his own.
That's true. That is a good thing to note. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, again, Terry, he's stepping into the Batman shoes here. He's trying to do some good in the world. It's not just like, 'cause think about it, technically, and they're going to call this out later, Tiki. Technically, Terry closed his loop, something Batman was never able to do. Terry, he avenged his father's death. He got all the perpetrators. They're dealt with. It's not exactly an endless war on crime for this kid, but he's still around.
Sure,
He's still doing it. He's because Bruce Wayne's had his mentors had a positive effect on him.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's actually really interesting to note, because of course we get the beat with Barbara Gordon at the end of the episode. That I'm sure will break that kind of concept down a little bit more.
So there's definitely kind of and again, we're going to call this out later. I forget if we called it any further before that point, but we it's a little thing to track. It was Terry's progress here. Like this is the first episode where he's not actively working towards something here. He's just doing it. He's doing
no slideshows this episode.
No slideshows this episode. Next time we get it, though, I will have a count on the slideshows.
Oh dear God! Okay.
Okay. We haven't gotten to this episode, because we didn't set up that he was called to the Batcave earlier. We didn't set that up, We just had him in the Batcave. Okay. So anyway, so Terry infiltrates. He's in the bat suit. He's in camouflage mode as Ramrod, just kind of like saying that DA is going to outlaw us. That means we must strike tonight. So as Terry's like reporting into to Bruce, he gets attacked. Bum bum bum. He basically, the tiger smells him using her enhanced senses. Like she has I guess like a tiger sense of smell or something. She smells him through the camouflage. It was pretty clever with the animal DNA thing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they all ambush him. They attack him. Then we have again all the painful. This poor Batman. He gets so put through the ringer compared to Bruce Wayne. We electrify the crap out of him in the most realistic way possible, folks. Sometimes if you hit those wires without cutting them or anything, they're still gonna zap the crap out of you. So poor Terry.
Oh, I do not trust electricity at all. Electricity is a big phobia of mine. Poor
Terry got the crap zapped out of him. And then we had a McGinnis, Tiki. We did have a McGinnis.
We did. I know. I took note of it.
Let's see. Our count right now, I believe, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at 7.
7 McGinnises. All right.
Okay. So he shocked the crap out of Terry by the wires. He gets knocked out, and then he wakes up in the worst way possible, in the way none of us want to get woken up via injection of an unknown substance.
Yeah, that is arguably the worst way possible to get woken up.
Yep. What did you?
Unless you're in the hospital and you're getting your morphine.
Even so, it's like.
Even so, that's not an injection. That's just putting it in your IV.
Yeah. That's still going to be plus you're going to have paranoia questions of why can't I feel?
I don't have paranoia questions about morphine in a hospital. I've been in the hospital with kidney stones. I welcome the morphine. Not on an everyday basis, of course, but when you're in the hospital dying of pain, yeah, bring it on.
So I want to die like Giovanni Ribisi's.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Let's see. So he wakes up and he's like, "What did you do? What did you inject in me, Cuvier?" And he basically says a little something he prepared in case Batman interfered, which is going to be horrifying.
Oh yeah.
It ain't going to be
And
like
weirdly enough, not even close to being the most horrifying thing in the episode.
it's the appetizer, kids. It's a 3-course meal, and that's the appetizer. Yeah. So. And I love that he's not injecting with like a little aesthetic, like, oh look, we gave him cute little bunny eyes or something. Like,
Oh
no,
god.
no. We're going full tilt here. It's just a little sample of the horror.
It's the Batman.
Dun, dun, dun. He's even got the same color scheme. All right. Okay, let's see. So Cuvier is basically trying to justify himself and what he's doing here. It's not. This is a good line. It's not style, it's lifestyle, and it's going to literally change the world. And he basically says,
That is a good line.
And Batman giving him some snark here. Have you considered checking yourself into Arkham? So this is important. This on a note away to you. That's not a massively important thing, but a little fun fact. First name drop of Arkham, and we never see. Let's just say there's a future version of Arkham, but we never saw it in Batman Beyond.
Really? Huh.
We never saw the new and improved version of Arkham, only in the comics that they did after. Knowing, basically, had they gotten a 4th season, we might have actually gone to Arkham, but we never really did. So this is we never really go to the future Arkham. They kind of saved that for the comics when they said, let's do more Batman Beyond if we did get a 4th season. So, yeah. Again, we'll find out what happened to Arkham, though, but we're not going to see future Arkham, which is what he's referring to right now. And I don't think we ever mention it again either. So... Okay, so you're welcome to your opinions for the short time you're still human enough to have them. That's not the thing you want to hear when you just wake up by injection by a weird.
God.
So let's see. So okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, so let's see. Terry. Before Terry can demand, can make his demands and everything from the calls freaks off. He's not feeling too well after he escapes. He does this cool thing where he uses the suit to like break one of the chains on the little circle thing that he's being held in, little Kirby-esque circle thing. And yeah, so he's about to interrogate Cuvier and tell him to call off the freaks. He's basically been sent to kill Barbara Gordon's husband. He's not feeling well, man. He's starting to. I don't know if we have the mouth frothing quite yet, but you hear like that little bat noise, and it's really creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So he rocket boots away after he gets into it. Cuvier, who stabs him with one of his claws, by the way, one of his nails. Very icky, and has also got blood in this episode, by the way. A little blood with these hits that Terry's taken this episode. All right, let's see. So, okay, so Terry blasts away, not feeling well, but knowing he has to do all he can to save Barbara Gordon and her husband right now. So again, yay, Terry, not just going to lick his wounds, going to save the former Batgirl.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, Dragon, it's really nice to see that Barbara's husband is getting a little bit more development.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this episode, I forget if we're going to do as much of this going forward, but I got a little.
I'm not expecting a ton with this guy. Yeah. I'm really not, but it's just nice to see that he's not just a one-off.
So we get to see. This is like a small thing to note. We get to see Barbara and Sam's house. It's a nice place. It's pretty nice. You'll notice Sam, because he's a lawyer, he's got like a nice law library built inside the house.
He does.
Really nice, and also detail that touched my heart. I forgot about this because it's a painted background detail. It's not really animated, so it's I forgot this. Like when we saw that picture on her desk of her father, I said it was the last time we're ever going to see Gordon. Technically, there's a painting of him above her fireplace, above her mantle. Yeah, a little painting of Jim Gordon. I want that. Okay, so.
And Dragon, the whole law library thing, it's just making me think like, what if Saul Goodman just did this really big romantic gesture with Kim, where he gave her basically like a Beauty and the Beast library, but with all legal books.
God, that'd be hilarious. Okay, let's see. So
really, Diane?
Really, Diane? Where are we getting really Diane?
Kim appreciates the library.
Where are we even getting really Diane from any of that?
Well, I just said because Diane did not appreciate the library.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. So point we have a nice little kind of husband wife moment. Then the splice saying he's working hard to kind of deal with this splicer crisis, and then the splicers attack, and Barbara kicking the crap out of Tigress until she can't deal with the bolt with the goat man. So so big old ramrods got her.
But you're right though. She does hold her own against Tigress, and the dude is literally built like an ox. So it's like she held her out. She held out her own.
Little something to track in the background, Tiki. Our former Bat family members, because of all the years of crime fighting, in their advanced age, they held up very nicely in crisis situations. And Bruce Wayne, he knows how to swing that cane, and she swings a mean batarang, and also can kick the crap out of people. So yeah.
But Terry comes in to rescue them, and of course, Dragon, he's all roided up pretty much.
Yeah.
He's got the fangs, and then there's like that really horrifying moment where he just goes to town on. Let's see, I think it's the Ram.
Yeah,
right?
Ramrod. He basically he almost beats Ramrod to death.
Batman, stop! You're killing him. Then I love this kind of like dual nature of Gordon and Terry's relationship, where it's like, Terry, you know what I mean? Where it's
after they flee, he's then starting to freak out, and she's like, Terry McGinnis, what's going on?
Right. I love that though. I love that, it's like in the public eye, she has to call him Batman, but then when the cards are really down, she gets real, she has to like go to the Terry side of things. I know. I thought that was really interesting.
Like Gordon did not have that with Batman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, Tiki, something just occurred. I swear, something just occurred to me in this moment. I'm gonna have you plant the flag.
Okay.
This is kind of like retroactive, mind you, and it could be a stretch, but it's something that might feed into this. Barbara seeing Terry almost beat a guy to death like this. And it's quite a scary thing with the way she saw it.
Sure.
That might be a concern she's going to have later this season.
I mean, yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
I'm saying maybe some lingering, like a lingering memory that might make things tense between the two of them. So let's
okay, cool.
Let's file that one away. Okay.
For sure.
Anyway, so again, Terry's after that, like, Terry's starting to froth at the mouth, and he's making the bat noises and the fangs and everything. And he's like, I love that you can see Terry fighting it for all he's worth. This McGinnis kid's got true grit, my friend. He's like, he's just trying to not hurt anyone. And that's the thing. He almost goes after her. And then as he's starting to change, he blasts off and away. She's concerned. She's calling Bruce. And this is a really cool thing I never caught before until this watch was full circle Batman the Animated Series Easter egg here. The way we animate these beakers and everything as Bruce is making the antidote and the anti-serum for the splicers.
No.
It's a nod to when we see Kirk Langstrom's lab, the way we animated it in the first episode of Batman the Animated Series. When we Batman's walking up to Kirk Langstrom and we have the big man bat scene. You have like the test tubes and the beakers kind of animated like this.
Sure.
Yeah, a little subtle detail. Cool. So Barbara's calling Bruce frantically. And she's like, "There's something wrong with that." Well, no, I've been sending for him. I haven't heard anything back from him. Like Bruce,
I've got slideshows I want to show him. Babs, slideshows.
yeah. So of course as he's like loading the Trent gun and everything, he is called away and by Ace. Ace senses something in the cave is off. Oh. And he walks off like every horror movie. He's like, "No, let's let Barbara finish the sentence."
Right.
Don't walk off yet. Don't bad exit this, Commissioner Gordon. No. So then we have the horror show of Terry in shadow, and he tosses the mask at his feet, and he says like, "Bruce, help me."
I love when he tosses the mask. It almost looks like his Batman's decapitated head.
Yeah, I'll admit
like it's still got the eyes in the mouth.
Admittedly, that's kind of an animation cheat, but it helped the moment.
I don't think it's a little bit of a cheat, sure, but I think it kind of, like you said, it kind of helps with the impact.
Exactly, because when I was a kid watching, it's like, wait a minute, that's not how the mask works when he takes it off. But I don't know, it's like it still looks a little masky when he throws it down. I guess I'll take.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah. Okay, so we have.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Jesus. Like when you see him, man, it's worse than Man Bat, I would say.
That's the thing because he's sentient. Like Man Bat couldn't talk.
Right, right, yeah.
Man Bat had like glimmers of humanity when his loved one entered the room, and vice
I also
versa.
feel like he's just generally speaking like a lot more sickly than Man Bat.
Well, he's a different type of bat too. Because Man Bat was a brown bat.
Uh-huh.
Terry's a vampire bat right now.
Okay, that
That's
makes
why
sense.
he's gray. So, but yeah, you're right. Though. I'm saying it is definitely.
No, I'm not just saying because he's gray. I'm saying like he literally like he's suffering in this moment.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you knew you were becoming a man bat, he's about to lose all of his humanity when he attacks Bruce Wayne just now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Also, my favorite detail. I kind of regret not getting a shot of this for the for the image, but I don't know if it would have looked great. When he charges at Bruce Wayne, for a moment you see the reflection in the white of his bad eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. So, yeah, full on monster movie, and again, kind of circling back to On Leather Wings here. He's attacking Bruce Wayne.
I love how Ace is just so vigilant here.
Yeah, like Ace loves that old man. He'll die for that old man. He jumps at him, and he's again Ace also Ace the Bat-hound, not just the cute nickname. He's in it, man. Ace will take.
Okay, you know what's funny about Ace
What?
that I kind of was thinking about this episode? I was thinking like, okay, my God, this episode, like we can do whatever the hell we want to any humans in this show.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way they would ever hurt Ace.
And what do? We toss the dog into the Robin case.
I mean, yeah, we do. But I'm saying, Dragon, like I'm saying, like later on during the fire and everything was when I was having that thought. I was like, man, if this was a John Wick movie, Ace would be screwed right now.
That's true. No, that's true. So yeah, we have this bit where so Ace is charging at him and like they're trying to like take him down. And there's an arc here, and we do put it on full display later. The Ace never really warmed up to Terry that much. There's been like a build with Ace has had kind of like docile moments with Terry, but this episode is the first one where we actually kind of see the real arc take shape here. The dog initially is not like Terry, understandably in this moment because Terry's like a giant bat creature, and the dog.
Well, yeah, very understandably, yes.
I don't know if the dog can really pick up on the intricacies of like, no, I don't want to hurt him, but
right, yeah.
So the dog's charging him, and then
like honestly, I would feel like there would be something very wrong with him if he was like, oh, well, who is this cool bat creature? I want to hug him.
Yeah, so then we toss the dog into the case. It's a scary scene, too, especially if you're the kids. Like, no, not the dog. The dog's going to be fine, kids. Don't worry. The dog's going to be fine. Toss him into the case. He's then trying to kill Bruce, and Bruce, like, fending him off. And, like, before he's a goner, being about to be strangled or have his throat slashed, the dog comes back. And then Bruce hits him with the cane. Then he hits him with the trank gun, knocking him out and transforming him back to normal.
Also, one could say the smashing of the Robin case is like very, very, very long form foreshadowing.
Yeah. Of all the cases.
Right.
Yep. You'll notice, though, the suit did not get destroyed.
I did notice that, yeah.
It's important. So, let's see. Anyway, so of course, Terry wakes up. Terry comes to. By the way, the most destroyed we've seen the suit. By the way, at this juncture, because we saw like the skin of the suit ripped off when he crash landed that one time. It's like fully torn and everything. So I wonder. Here's the real question. I wonder how long it took Bruce to repair that suit before the rest of the episode.
Right.
That's a real thing. Because I don't imagine he has many lying around. Because usually he's like repairing that thing when this damage happens. And plus, Bruce does not have. I don't think Bruce has Lucius Fox at this juncture. I think this is pretty much him doing it all by himself. Anyway, so he comes to, we exposit what happened, everything, and then basically says, "Okay, well, we got to get him with this trank gun." And now the Cuvier's been found out. He'll be deadlier than ever because now he's a hunted man. So this is not good. We have no way of finding him. But then they find that claw that was lodged in Terry's side. It almost looks like. And it's a shame we can't use it to find him. We can't. Ace the Bat-hound. Okay, so then we have Batman and Ace the Bat-hound in the field, man. The dog's in the field. Think about it, man. This dog was taking on the Shriek from episodes earlier. It was saving people, and now it was saving Batman's bacon. Now it's working with him to fight crime and find bad guys.
Uh-huh.
We legit, and Paul Dini was full Ace the Bat-Hound, by the way. So all the Ace the Bat-Hound stuff, that's full Dini. So, again, the arc of Ace here, he's kind of coming around on him. He's like, look, I know you don't like me, and I don't like you. So can you just cut me a break here for a change? So Ace the Bat-Hound's in action. He's running down the street. Terry's struggling to catch up. He's also lugging around this giant trank gun, which is probably slowing him down a bit.
Once again, Dragon, I realize it's just a trank gun. Just the image of Batman handling any sort of firearm is a little weird.
I like to think, by the way, the reason we went with the giant trank gun versus like the usual pistol-looking one
is because of what I just said.
Well, I mean, in part, yes. That not seriously behind the scenes that did come into their minds on that. That's kind of why they did it. But for me, the deeper cut I'd like to think also factored in was it's the Dark Knight Returns misdirect, where you saw old Bruce Wayne in Dark Knight Returns with that sniper rifle, and what the sniper rifle was not a sniper rifle. In fact, it shot a grappling line.
Sure. So
again, it's kind of like, but you're right. It's evocative for sure. Okay. So, Cuvier is held up in a taxidermy studio. Norman Bates is Nirvana.
It's a cool set piece for sure.
It is. And it occurs to me, Tiki, that in Batman Beyond, it makes a lot more sense that we have so many abandoned facilities.
No, you're right. It does.
Because again, we had not the stamp factory. It was the newspaper, the newspaper factory back in print and press factory episodes back during Slappers, during the Winning Edge, and it makes sense that that place would absolutely in the future be completely outmoded, so they would not need that place. All right, so Dr. Cuvier here, he's not happy. He's blaming the weakness of his lackeys. He's throwing them around a bit. One thing about Cuvier I should mention, I completely forgot to mention earlier. There was an abandoned idea in this episode with Cuvier. The abandoned idea was that he was, I don't know if it was with Francine Langstrom, the original wife, or not, but the idea is originally is that he was a descendant of Kirk Langstrom, but in their whole, in quotes, not series Bible, I guess they made the decision, we don't want to tie everyone into the original characters. We don't want to just, have them all be like, he's my cousin, we don't want to do that. So I think that was the idea.
Makes sense. I respect that choice. We don't want this shit to become Star Wars.
Yeah, so that was kind of that's the main, it didn't have a Bible. That was the only real Bible-esque thing that they had with the show. We don't want to do that.
Sure. That's funny. It's just it's a very small, it's like the pocket Bible, Dragon.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just 1 page long.
Yeah. Okay, or it's the first draft of the Bible. Okay, so it's the outline of the Bible. The big man upstairs, okay, I'm going to put in general what I kind of want here, but we'll go over the fine print later.
Right.
All right, let's see. So it's a 3-on-1 fight, Terry versus the 3 there. He gets bit by the snake, which to me is even more painful because the idea I think is that the snake's not venomous, thank goodness, but it's a human man with 4 giant snake teeth. That's still going to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Batman takes a beating as he's wont to do in this show. Takes a beating as a Cuvier. He's splicing like crazy, man. He starts off with 5. So the idea is he's combining animal DNA so he can basically make himself bigger and badder and something that Batman has no chance to stop. And so this is, again, we went from the appetizer to now the main course, and then we're going to get to the almighty dessert.
Oh God! Yep. Oh,
souffle. The souffle of horror.
Right, I mean, where are we? I don't even really know how to properly talk about this beyond just kind of trying to describe it visually.
Well, I mean, the easiest way to describe this middle one is it's an action.
It's like the Blob. That's how I would describe it.
Well, we're not there yet. You're wrong.
Okay, sorry. Okay,
so it's the Batman. He's fighting these guys. He's basically tranking them when he can. Of course, when he gets the ramrod, he kind of the gun. He runs out of ammo, which is not good. So he's charging. I mean, he does this cool thing where he flips him and rips out the nose ring and then tranks him. Here's a dose of reality, pal. Ice-T does not want to go back to being human. He really doesn't.
Uh-huh.
okay, let's see. So then, okay, you're gonna fight. He's finding Cuvier. You want to fight me, man? The freak show again. Good kind of witty barbs from the Batman. Cuvier is an actual, again, chimera, sucker. It's
God.
chimera. He's an actual chimera. He's a hybrid of the splicing. So he's kind of like he's like a snake hawk. I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. He looks very intimidating. He's like from Greek myth or something. Like, you know, the whole chimera being like.
But importantly, he does not really look that fucked up at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is
at
right
this
now.
Point.
So again, this is kind of like this is the meal, but we're then going to add like a flambe dessert to the meal. So.
But it's like one of those ridiculous, like oversized desserts that just kicks your ass.
Exactly. It's like it's like one of those, like, you know, can you beat the dessert challenge?
Exactly.
Oh, so right now you have like. So this is what I'm saying. If you were in Batman's shoes,
it's like an early bird special, like very small steak, and then the all you can eat dessert.
So already. Batman's being thrown around like a rag doll with this giant spliced Cuvier and as a chimera, and just as like with the snake tail and everything, what's at least recognizable what this thing is. And he's being thrown around, and then Batman. Oh God! So I love that he's in such a desperate spot right now. He basically pulls the move from the winning edge here, where he basically grabs a bunch of vials. So the guy started with 5 to make him into this monstrosity, but it's at least an organized monstrosity. And Tiki, do you want to know how many vials this guy ends up taking?
Oh, yeah, I would like to know, yes.
Okay, so he started with 5, and after Batman kept injecting with these, you get 13.
Because you sent me the video description before I watched the actual episode, and so I knew there was some fucked up shit about to happen in the finale, and so when all those injections happened, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
To turn him into the Cronenberg monster that he ends up turning into, this guy takes 13 vials. It's 13 vials, man. Oh God. So, and yeah, you can like see him just like keep stabbing into the guy, which is pretty brutal. And you know what? Here's a funny standards and practice thing. Okay, he can't jab actual hype. You can't jab actual hypodermic needles into people, which is why in Batman the Animated Series, he stabbed like the Penguin's bird with like another bird. That's why he couldn't like use him with like a needle. They got away with it like once, but it was like obscured Mad Love, where like Harley Quinn just kind of like injected him, but it was like more like, okay, so he's just spurting like the stuff out after that. You know, she's like a little dripping the stuff. Anyway, but yeah, he's we use like these futuristic little vials. Like, yeah, you can inject them all you want. It's futuristic. We don't have this tech. It doesn't go in that easy. Yeah, it's fine. It's not a lot of pointy needle. It just looks nice and easy.
Sure.
Isn't it with a bunch of him with like inject them 13 times on a kid's show? It's not imitatable.
God, that's crazy.
So then he turns into this just horrific giant, and he was already big. He was getting big with the Chimera thing. Turns into a giant Cronenberg-looking monster, which is completely no humanity at all. It's like has a mouth and legs.
What I love about it is it's basically like it's kind of like a mix of like the Blob, but not the original Blob, like the remake Blob. But then also just like all these fucked up different animals. Also, we have Breezy Main in the comments. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Just saying happy Thursday. Happy to have you, Breezy. All right.
Is Emily Glover supposed to mean anything to you?
I'm not sure. Maybe that's her actual name. I don't know.
I'm saying she's not like an Imagineer friend or anything, is she?
No. That name does not mean anything. I've never heard that name, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. So, anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, it's funny because they did kind of a warm up to this in the DCAU, building up to this design, Tiki. In Superman the Animated Series, there's this. I forget if they actually gave him a name. I think he's the Preserver. The Preserver, who's kind of like an Eggman. The Preserver turns into this monster, which like the egg unshells into this giant red monster, which is kind of Cronenberg-esque, but really soft-pedaled Cronenberg. And now they just went full to like the fact he has like these weird like piano key teeth, and he has like a claw, like a little pincer claw, and he's got like these spiky tendrils. And he's like, oh, it's disgusting. Boils and pox. It's kind of like imagine that. Think that Superman the Animated Series thing, and then mix it with Critters, all those monsters from Critters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then, so Batman's like, If I were in Terry's suit, I'd be soiling myself right now looking at this thing. That'd be me. But he's.
And you know what? I am rewatching the footage now. We do beat Ace up a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But then we get back at him though. We get back. So this thing, Terry's about to be eaten by this monster, which is even more horrific knowing there is a human guy at the center of that creature. It's like I'm gonna commit cannibalism.
Yeah, right. That is, come to think of it, that is crazy.
on a Saturday morning. Dude, we're
gonna
have this man who was once human, but then modify himself genetically to bite him in half with his icky, creepy Cronenberg piano teeth. I'm gonna bite Batman in half and maybe swallow. I don't know. Oh God. So Ace the Bat-Hound crashes through after he was told to stay with this cute bit of like, no, stay, good bat dog. And as the bat dog comes in, and he attacks the heck out of this thing. And there was another BS&P note. They went darker with this episode originally, Tiki. When Ace the Bat-Hound was defending Terry, he's biting on the skin fold. The skin fold originally was bitten completely off.
Oh no! Oh God!
So that's why he's tearing at that thing, Tiki. Originally, it was. I forget if they fully animated the scene or not, but originally the thing in the storyboard phase or something, it was ripped off. So then Cuvier, monster Cronenberg Cuvier, he's not liking that, and he's beating up the dog, and he's about to, and then Batman comes to and says, "Hey, don't touch my dog." It's John Wick moment. Even sounds a little like John Wick. He's going the kind of the Keanu Reeves.
It is a little bit, yeah.
So then he stabs Cuvier with his own pointy tendrils, and he then electrifies him. And he electrifies him, and then basically like a bunch of like canisters of chemicals and gas and stuff is like on the ground, and then it completely catches on fire. Basically, Cuvier burns alive, most likely, in a giant monstrous form.
For kids.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any ways coming out.
It's a family picture.
I want to be clear, not Terry's fault. He just incapacitated him, and he might have been just electrified. Okay, Cuvier was causing all that.
So basically, it's like an I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
No, it's not exactly that, but he wasn't in a position of saving him. It's like, Cuvier did that himself. He's a rampaging monkey. So anyway, so point being, bad guys dispatched with. I do not envy the GCPD or the fire department of the future's cleanup on that. I don't.
God,
it's gonna be a nightmare. We gotta campaign the mayor to raise the pay of those firefighters. I'm gonna say that much.
Get Nestor Carbonell in here.
Anyway,
what's that dude up to these days? Do you know?
Well, I mean, let's see. Last thing we saw him in was Big Hero 6, the series.
I forgot about that, yeah.
He got something recently, but I don't know what the name is.
I'm going to look it up out of random curiosity.
He is doing something, Tiki. He's got a show. I don't know what it is. Anyway, let's see. What was I going to... All right. Point being, big fire and everything, bad guys stop. Now we have our little aftermath here. So importantly...
The show is called Bandit.
It might have been something else, but is that all you're finding? Right
the morning show. It looks like he was on the morning show.
But does he have a movie on right now?
I don't know. Let me go ahead. Let me go into his Wikipedia.
All right. We approve Nestor Carbonell on this channel.
we do.
So
I'm sorry. Bandit was the movie.
Okay, so what's the show?
I don't know if he. It's called Shogun, but it's in production.
Okay. All right, never mind then. Maybe I'm...
He also randomly played Ponce de Leon in the DuckTales reboot.
That's right. So, that's Carbonell. Yeah, he worked with those guys who did the DuckTales show. Well, actually, wait a minute. He's worked on a lot of Disney stuff. Schoolie and McCorkle, they didn't have anything to do with the reboot, did they?
I don't know.
Okay, well, regardless, point being, he was Senor Senior Junior and Kim Possible, very hilarious. And he did a lot of it. Anyway, so in the aftermath of everything, we have a nice scene between Terry and Barbara.
Yeah, and what you said, like that planted flag, that definitely has me worried, because I was kind of like, oh, that's nice that she doesn't hold the incident against him, because she knows that he wasn't, that he was kind of out of his, like, it wasn't his fault per se.
Yeah. And I'm not saying she is going to hold that specifically against him, but she saw she saw a brutal side to this kid, and the fact that she saw the kid like at his worst and without Bruce Wayne's guidance, and
Right.
that might give her some hesitations on this boy later.
Interesting.
You know, just that, and in general, like as she does here, like she begs him to hang up the cape, essentially saying she recommends look, kid, I appreciate what you did, but you really should escape this lifestyle. This is a really good line. She says, you can't live a life of narrow escapes forever.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's speaking from experience, of course. You know, she says it's a thankless existence, and the rewards, if any, are very small. And then this is really nice, man. This is kind of showing you the development. This episode is kind of the big turning point for Terry and Ace the Bat-Hound, where they've kind of buddied up.
It is. Yeah.
He's petting Ace the Bat-Hound, who's kind of warmed up to him, and he says, the small rewards are the best ones. It's like, aw. And then they're walking off. But again, Tiki, little ominous note. They're walking off. They walk in the shadow, and Barbara Gordon's looking on to him. He's looking on to. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That is a little bit ominous. We'll see.
Maybe not ominous, but ominous in the sense of like, you know what, he's still sticking with the lifestyle. I don't approve. So it gets like, again, the fact that Terry doesn't always do the bad exit like Batman did to Commissioner Gordon. So there's going to be a lot of like, I see through this kid. He's
right. That makes sense.
It's like, I appreciate what this kid does, but I love that it's not even out of like malice. It's like out of concern for him. She wants him to hang it up. It's not like,
sure.
You're a menace, Spider-Man. None of that.
God.
It's like, no, I don't like
vigilantes. I would hope not.
Again, like she just randomly said, I don't like vigilantes. It'd be like, well, that's very hypocritical of you, Barbara.
Right.
You're a vigilante. But again, it's just the whole thing of like, this kid's walking a path that might get him killed, and I don't want to see that happen.
Sure.
And yeah, that's the episode.
All right. Well, yeah, Dragon, I really did like it. Like I said, I probably wouldn't rank it up there with like my all-time favorites in the show, but it's still really solid. Good premiere. Obviously, some pretty brutal, fucked up imagery. So, yeah, looking forward to continuing on with the second season, seeing where we go from here.
Yeah, I mean, Tiki, you're in for I'll be this way. Season 2 is quite the ride. One, because it has more episodes than Season 3. Because Season 2 is like a full season, man. It's like it's a lot fuller. Season 3 is.
Oh, I didn't realize that. How many are there?
I got it. I want to say, comparatively, I think it's probably double the length of Seasons 1 and 3.
Okay, that's not too bad.
It might be more, but I have to check. But the point being, I think it's.
I thought we were like 20 episodes away from ending this show. We're more like 30.
Maybe a hair more, but yeah. Anyway,
right.
But yeah, so your Season 2 is quite the ride. Season 2 has got like a lot of diverse stuff. Plus, there's going to be an animation shift in the middle of it, so that's going to be.
Ooh, really interesting.
Not a major one, but definitely a noticeable one. Debatably for the better, but we'll let you be the judge.
Okay, for sure.
But yeah, so Season 2 is going to have a lot of twists and turns, man. You're in for quite the ride. And I mean, honestly, if you think things are dark in this episode, just wait until the next episode.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Speaking of which.
Okay, just really quick. Lucas Green says Splicers if episodes were rated R. Oh, boy. Feral horror. Oh, yeah. Okay, so really quick, just want to thank Lucas Green and Breachy Main for coming on in the comments. Really appreciate it all. All right, Dragon, take us out.
Oh, also Tiki Jim.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Of course. How could I forget? Mr. Jim. Great username. All right, take us out, Dragon.
A chemical cover-up? A father-daughter reunion for the ages? A new Bat vehicle? Can Batman save Jackie and Bill before a familiar face buries them forever? Tune in next time to find out. Same animated Bat time, same animated Bat place.
On the next visit to Batcave Beyond with Earth Mover.
This is no simple fad.